You know, when you're betting, when you have puts, you know, that means your puts go up. And honestly, turned like $1,200 into like $30,000.
Damn.
And then, you know, that's kind of how I started.
No big deal.
Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Energy Podcast. My name is Brian Landeros. Alongside me is
Eric V, new co-host.
Thank you guys for, rocking with us. Everybody that's been supporting since day one. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you smash that subscribe button so you never miss a dose of energy. Before we get into tonight's guest, I want to get a little bit of housekeeping stuff out of the way. By the time you're listening to this, episode 44 of the Energy Podcast is out now, and boy, did we have enough energy to light up San Diego. Shout out to the boys from the Young and the Washed coming in and sharing their energy. Make sure to follow us to make all details come true. Also, if you haven't checked out our recap video for No Bad Vibes, we legit ended the year with a bang. Shout out to everyone that came out and supported. We'll be back this summer, bigger, better than ever. Now, tonight's guest, ladies and gentlemen, bust out your notepads and pens and get ready to take some notes.
Yep, you're gonna want to know this one.
Yep. Is the sound of money, and when it comes to these boys, they know all about it. SFSU alumni, stocks, and option traders, as well as mentors, co-CEOs of All In Trading Group. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Diego Garcia Bueno and Antonio V. What's happening, boys?
Yeah, boys.
Good to see you guys.
Good to be here.
Yo, thank you so much for coming by, bro. Shit, I've been so excited to get this one on the way, bro.
Hell yeah.
I mean, just with all the hype of everything that's going on, ladies and gentlemen, this one's one that you really, really don't want to miss out on. But before we get into tonight's discussion, guys, let's talk about Miami. Hey, at least from what we could share on camera.
Well, it was the boy's birthday, so I'm like,
We had to go celebrate one time,
You guys wild out
It
there
was
or what?
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Miami don't got COVID, I guess.
Nah, bro,
Yeah.
the fuck out there.
Yeah.
What was the most, what did you guys do?
We went to a pool party, SLS. That
Damn,
was
so
nice.
everything's open like
yeah,
that?
it's no
Damn,
COVID,
yeah.
bro. Like the pool parties were like popping, honestly. Like no mask in sight, honestly. Kind of worrisome, I was like,
Fuck it.
But hey,
huh?
got
Also
tested when I got back and all
Yeah.
negative, So God bless. But it's fun. We rented out a couple yachts, went out and just partied.
Yeah, enjoyed yourself. I like
Yeah,
that.
as you should, bro. As you should, bro.
Work
So-
hard, play hard.
All right, so let's
Exactly.
go ahead and get into it, guys. What inspired you guys to start trading, first of all?
Well, honestly, I started like about 4 years ago. I had a really good job as a manager, and it was for a delivery service actually. And I was just chilling at home, and I was making good money, and I was like, hey, like kind of want to put this in like for a long term.
Right.
And so I started buying like shares of stuff. I didn't really know too much about the stock market. I started buying shares of companies that I liked, and that didn't really go too well. So in my head, I'm like, yo, there's people that do this shit for a living.
Right.
Like there's something that I'm missing that that's missing to the puzzle.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like took a step back, kind of like learned all the terminology, all the trading strategies, how to like identify like chart patterns and all that. And then, last year, kind of right before COVID started, I actually got my tax returns back. It was like right when I started, started building that wealth. And I had seen, all over the news, like, oh, COVID, there's a cruise with COVID and like people aren't able to get off of the cruise,
Right.
And so
yeah, that's crazy.
in my head, I'm like, yo, and they were talking about a lockdown, and so I'm like, yo, if the country goes into lockdown, people aren't going to be able to travel. If they're not able to travel, they're not going to be able to stay in hotels. And then there was a cruise. It was back when I was living in SF. There was a cruise that was about to get docked in Oakland. And same shit, they weren't letting people off of the cruise because it was infested with COVID.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, this is serious, bro. So I literally got my tax returns February 28th, a day after my birthday last year. And I just threw the whole check into puts, which is like betting that the market's going to go down.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And because that's the cool thing about stocks. A lot of people don't know, even on the downside, you can still make money.
Betting on the
Right.
right.
Yeah. And so
That's slept on, I feel, in the stock.
yeah. And so, I ran it up with the puts, and then 3 days later, Trump announces a lockdown, and the market took a huge dump.
Yeah.
And, when you're betting, when you have puts, that means your puts go up. And honestly, turned like $1,200 into like $30,000.
Damn.
And then, that's kind of how I started.
big deal.
Yeah. I pulled out of all my initial investments. All my accounts are just made off profit right now. And honestly, just kind of started like that. And, You know, it's a good thing to learn what you're getting into before you can learn the technicals and the practical at the same time, you know, which is kind of like the whole reason why we started All In Trading Group.
Nice, bro. What about you, Antonio?
Well, I mean, I was in it for the money, strictly. Like,
Hey, bro. Hey, be honest. Like, shit.
That's what it is.
Nah, I appreciate that.
I want to have the freedom to like live my own life on my own terms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like living a life where you're working for someone else, you're not gonna achieve that.
Correct.
So if you go out there and you hustle for your own, you invest in the right things, you can make something for yourself. So.
No, definitely.
What was the point that like you really put all into this? Because you know he said that when he got that money and it actually hit, that was like the time he knew that he was good at this. Like, when was it for you that you really wanted to commit to this?
Well, look, I'm still halfway in, halfway out. I still have a job right now. But, you know, I'm fortunate enough to work 11 to 8, whatever, but I still have time to trade.
Okay, so you're still part-time.
Because in here in the Pacific Coast, we start at 6:30.
Yeah.
I know.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
All the trades start from 6:30, or like the real trades, the good trades, 6:30 to 8:30, and those are the most volatile times, so you get the most market swings.
Of course.
In those times, so... I'm fortunate for that. So I'm still like in and out. I'm trying to like weigh out my options, going to different financial like investments. So,
Nice.
So I started like 4 years ago. I was trading shares initially with like stocks like Tilray. Actually, Tilray made me a lot of money back in the day, like 2017. About the time when like Bitcoin started to bubble too.
Right.
Bitcoin went.
I mean, it had a push back a couple years ago, and then it kind of died out. Remember?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Tilray. Yeah.
What?
For what?
For Bitcoin.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I remember that Bitcoin craze. My buddy made a lot of money, and then he held it through the whole down. So it's 24 Bitcoin now.
So All In Trading Group, bro. How did this name come about, and where did the All In come from?
So I think it started from my Instagram handle. Like,
okay.
I changed my Instagram to All In Intentions one day because like that's how I was feeling back in the day. Like I was tired of where I was at and I needed to like be all in. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like,
all or nothing.
And, you know, if you're not all in anything you do, anything you love, you're not doing it the right way. In my opinion,
you got to be passionate about it, bro.
Be passionate.
Definitely.
So it started there, and then we got together. I met Diego like at school.
Last class of college, bro. It was crazy. I'd already graduated, but I had to take one more class just to,
that's meant to
meet
be
all the
shit,
requirements.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like sitting across this fool, and the teacher, it was the first day of lecture, and like the teacher's talking, and she like looks at him, and he's on his computer, and she's like, "Oh, I'm not saying anything that you have to type right now." And so he like looks up and then like just looks back down and continues to type.
Bitch, I pay for this class, so I can say if I want to fucking like pay attention or not.
Exactly. But no, yeah. And then after that class, I told him, I was like, hey, I'm going down to Rosarito for the weekend. Like, let's go. And then, we did that, and then we just became good friends. And then honestly, just started putting in the work together in the stock market, started trading, and then whole COVID hit, and then we made a lot of money off puts. We both went in on puts, and then once that happened, honestly, like I was getting people like flooding me, the market is dropping crazy. Like how are you making so much
people
money?
Were losing a lot of money.
What the fuck? These are winning, and I'm over here losing.
People were losing their jobs, and so they're like, like I need to create another form of income, because I feel like the one thing that the pandemic did like make people realize is that you can't live off just one source of income.
And I think this pandemic really taught people that hey, if you got that hustle in you, you're definitely gonna go out and eat, and if not, bro, you're gonna get rolled over and just washed out.
The thing that I find crazy is like before the pandemic, everyone's like, I want to do this and that, but I just don't have time.
Bro,
in the pandemic, one thing it brought was time, bro.
Yeah,
you were just stuck at home.
So
exactly.
If you came out here broke out of it, like,
dude, you better have came out with an idea, with a fucking new business plan or fucking something.
But
something to make you happy too.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
So is it just you two in it, or how many people are in this group?
So me and Antonio are the founders. We started out, from zero. Started building our way. Putting on friends,
family.
Okay.
Yeah, and then right now we're sitting at about like 116 members, 120.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So it's cool.
What does it take to get into the group? Like, what do you got to do?
So right now we have. So the thing is, basically, the reason why we started it is because the pandemic hit and people were flooding me with like, yo, what are you doing? And so I was telling people, but then in the conversation you kind of forget like about everything you're talking about, and
Correct.
so. a day, 2 days later, hit me back up again, you know, and I was like, yo, so how about, you know, we put all of our knowledge into creating a course, so that way, you know, if you have a question, you can look back into it, you know?
Of course.
And so,
guideline.
yeah, so the course is basically, you know, to create that, teach everyone the technicals, all the terminology, all the trading strategies, you know, the patterns, the charts, everything. And then we were like, yo, like, let's put together a group so that way, you know, whatever plays we make, we can let them know. And, you know, do your own due diligence at the end of the day, you know, make your own decisions. But, you know, we kind of guide you in the direction of, at least of what we're doing.
Right.
And so, yeah, you know, people, like, started joining, the company started growing, you know, and so.
So are you guys running it? Like, is everybody just listening to you, or does everybody have, like, their own put into it?
Yeah, so everyone, you know, we always ask people, you know, do your own research, whatever you find, bring it to the table, because, like, our goal is to create a community of people that are all, you know, hustlers, you know, all trying to make some money. So if you know, if it's just me and him looking for information, you know, it's a lot more limited to the amount of, you know, if we have all 120 members looking for news, looking for possible trends.
Nice.
So yeah, it's honestly just, you know.
But in the long run, like, where do you guys see you guys self going? You know, like, what's the final?
So we're working on something. It's a project. We have investors right now, but we're trying to get licenses and certifications to start up a hedge fund.
Oh,
Nice.
So if people are interested,
That's the
in
big goal.
Yeah.
All right.
Because, you know, like, a lot of people want to create this money for themselves, but then there's a lot of people with money already that want to, you know, expand that and don't
even,
have the time.
Even that, bro, like, you know, everybody has strengths and weaknesses, right? So for somebody, maybe the stock trading isn't their strength, but they know that is very, you know, lucrative if you do it the right way. So, you know, putting your investment in somebody that actually knows how to do it, it's kind of like, you know, helping you out make money without having you risk yourself, you know.
People can go out there to Wall Street and find a hedge fund that gives you like 3 to 10% returns a year. Okay, that's okay. But we have a track record already, and we already doubled our investors account by like in 3 months. So it's 100% return in 3 months, not bad. So I mean, we want to be doing the bigger things. You know, that's why we leverage all call contracts or put contracts, whatever, to you know.
So have you guys taken a loss at all? Like,
of course.
Yeah.
You win and you
and
lose.
how did you guys like bounce back from that? Like,
I remember back in the day, like, I really didn't know anything about like implied volatility, and I was playing earnings, run like earning releases.
What's earnings?
Earnings is when a company puts out whether they're profitable or if they're not profitable, their debt, their liabilities.
Basically what they did for that quarter.
Basically.
So if a company is not up to par than what they're expected, they're going to drop. Or if they release any type of bad news, or vice versa. If they report positive earnings or a surprise there, and then it's going to run up a lot. And you can make
their story.
Yeah. So like one of them, for example, that I played was it was like 3 quarters ago when Apple, Google, Facebook, they were all had that lawsuit, and I listened to that lawsuit. I watched the whole thing, the meeting that they had, and I saw Apple came out the best out of all 4 of them. And I told him, I'm like, yo, like, Apple's gonna hit, and they all reported earnings the same day. And so I bought a call literally like 2 minutes before the market closed.
Nice.
And they reported earnings, and that's when they announced the stock split, which is when a company dilutes its shares. So say, like, instead of having $1, you have 4 quarters. You know, so it's still worth the same, but there's more shares available. And so they announced that, and they announced, you know, good numbers, and boom, it shot up. And I had a call that expired like 3 weeks after that.
Right.
And so I turned, like, I think it was like a $300 investment into like 10 bands.
Damn.
And then, so I actually executed the contract. So that contract, it was a $400 call for Apple. So when you execute a contract, you buy 100 shares of that stock at the set strike price, you know? So 100 times 400 was $40,000. But by the time that it executed, Apple was already at 500. So it was 40,000 to 50,000. And then they did the stock split. It you know, spiked up a little bit more, and then I took profits on a lot of them, and then that's when it came back down. Like I expected it already. I knew that after the split it would run up, but then people were gonna take profits, obviously, you know. So
and when you have like a long, like, your call is like the date's like long, would you want to just take your money while you're up, or do you just when do you like pull out?
So in my opinion, if you have a longer term contract,
and you already
want to hold a little bit, but say if it just moves parabolically, go ahead and take your profits at the top, and then you can always re-enter that same position at a lower price.
On a dip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So basically, the way like the contracts are priced, it's like the closer it is to the actual stock, the current stock price, and the further away the day is, the more expensive it's going to be because it's most likely to hit, you know. But if it's further away from the actual stock price and the expiration date is closer, then they're going to be cheaper because it's less likely to hit. So.
But that's where you can make a lot more, because when it's not expected, the market makers will misprice those contracts.
Yeah.
And you'll buy them for pennies on dollars.
Yeah.
And then they say if it does, they shoot up the IV or something like that, then you make
some good money.
like 10,000% return.
Yeah.
So you got to find a mix and a balance.
Yeah.
But then again, like, you know, they also say that, you know, it's, you know, trading options is very risky. You know, there's also the downside of it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So how we also take advantage of that too, that risk too. We also trade shares, or we hold shares, and you can also sell call contracts, which is it's a bearish strategy, but at the end of the day, you can collect a premium, you know, on whatever, you know.
Yeah. So basically, how you buy a contract, if you have 100 shares, because a contract entitles you to 100 shares, right? But if you have 100 shares, you can sell a contract for the premium that, you know, you normally buy a contract for. But say, you know, it's a $25 strike price, and when it expires, it's at 24. So it's going to expire worthless, and then you just collect that premium that you sold it for.
Got it.
So that's a way to make money off of your shares short term, when like your long term shares, you know. So a company that you want to just hold for years, you know, you can still sell the contracts and make some quick dough.
So is there anybody in the industry that's like killing it right now that you guys like admire and kind of like learn from?
There's like, honestly, there's a lot of people trading, you know, and like a lot of people, like there's a lot of misinformation going on too, but you just have to kind of like look at a lot of sources, you know. There's like YouTube videos.
Yeah, but what's your main source?
We got like there's a couple, honestly. We watch YouTube videos. So there's this guy that goes live like all day throughout the market. It's like his trading fraternity. So, you know, it's cool to just be doing your own thing, but also have someone like talking where if something pops up.
The main thing is your instinct, you know.
Exactly.
But, like,
At the end of the day,
It's to stay up to date with what's going on.
Yeah, you gotta know everything.
Even if like you look at the comments in that video, they're gonna call out stocks that are popping that very second. If you just look at the comments, you see like AMD like 3 times in 3 seconds or in 10 seconds. You look at the chart and it's spiking.
Yeah,
that's a play for
Damn,
you.
that's crazy. See, that's
also like right, especially when you're day trading too, like you want to stay on top of the news, you know. Like for another example, Apple was reporting or was announcing their 5G iPhone. And a big question when they were announcing the 5G iPhone is like, okay, you're gonna have an iPhone with 5G capabilities, but are the service providers gonna have 5G? Like, are they gonna be able to
like
offer
phone itself,
like Verizon, AT&T, all that? And so during that presentation, Tim Cook brought out the CEO of Verizon. And so as soon as he announced it, I went in there and I bought Verizon calls. And then, you know, I normally screenshot it and then post it in the group chat so everyone could see it. I screenshotted it, posted it, went back to my account. It was up 100% already, the call. And so I sold it, you know. I was like, all right, I'm going to take my profits. And a lot of news, you know, it'll be like a pump and dump. Well, it'll just spike up and then it'll come right back down. So, you know, you got to take advantage of those profits, you know, if it does spike up.
Is that usually when you pull out is when you're like hit 100?
Yeah, no, honestly, it just depends on like how you're looking at the chart. We're pretty like technical traders.
If you're confident about it, then let it run.
Good strategy too is when you're up 100%, you can sell half of your position, and that would make everything free. So you're like playing with
free money,
house's money.
So talking about pump and dump, Dogecoin, what is it? AMC and GameStop.
So
they're called meme stocks.
Stonks.
Yeah, that's like
stonks.
I remember.
Is that like super new to the game? Like,
so Reddit like a month ago or 2 months ago had like less than 1 million subscribers to it.
On the Wall Street bets. It's like 8 million.
It's like 8 to 10 million. So whatever they're talking about is gonna be either pumped or
But
it's most likely gonna be pumped.
yeah, like I said, there's also a lot of misinformation too. So it's just kind of like finding the right ones.
Do your
But
due diligence.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
A lot of those people are just started trading too.
Yeah.
Right.
So what was the breakdown? Like, what was really going down with like them pumping it? Like, how did that happen?
So-
It started with one person. Well, technically it was
Roaring Kitty or whatever.
Roaring King or Deep
Deep fucking Valley.
Yeah, the guy that you see everywhere now.
Yeah.
Also, Michael Berry was long GameStop too.
And Dave Portnoy.
Dave Portnoy.
Dave Portnoy, that guy's a fucking.
So it is like a
shithead.
team of like rich dudes that are just like.
I mean, so basically is like, I think Wall Street Bets kind of discovered that hedge funds were heavily shorting GameStop, which is shorting is when you borrow shares and then sell them with the goal to buy them back at a cheaper price to give them back to the people you borrowed them from. So GameStop was shorted over 100%, which I think should be illegal. You know, you shouldn't be able to short the whole like the whole
inside trading, bro.
Yeah, and so people caught on to that, you know, and they're like, yo, if we buy this up, they're gonna have to buy it at whatever price we're selling it.
Yeah.
Just imagine they have to pay back 100% of the 100+% of the shares, and people are not letting go of the shares. They're gonna have to keep buying higher and higher. So. At the end of the day, like
every day it was like, if he's holding, I'm still holding, you know.
Yeah.
Like
Hold the line.
hold the line, you know.
yeah.
But you know, a lot of people also did lose money because, you know, it's crazy to me, especially like since we have the group, like when the interest spikes the most is when we hit, you know. But it's like, if you want to get into those hits, you gotta like get in before.
Be with us,
you know,
yeah,
you already gotta be in there before, you know, doing your work, doing your research, doing all that, so that when we hit, you know, you're in it already. But you know, GameStop was crazy. Made a lot of money off of that, fortunately.
Yeah, so I like that week that it started pumping. Like I was watching them. I think it's gonna go to 300.
Yeah.
I kept telling them, and they're like,
Fucking scared.
no one believes me.
Yeah, no, it's good,
Nobody
it's
believe me. I called you guys.
No, honestly, like they reported earnings and I made puts on it because I was like, yo, like GameStop is gonna be obsolete. You know, PlayStation, Xbox, they both came out with models that you don't need a disc anymore. You know, so who the fuck's gonna go to GameStop to buy
That's
games?
fact.
Everything's
And,
virtual now.
You know,
That's what was tripping me out.
But the
Everybody's
thing is,
buying games. I'm like, how the hell?
the reason why they started doing it is because they're trying to change up their business model. It's not just a brick and mortar store anymore. They want to be like Amazon.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, their new board member Ryan Cohen, or he's going to be. I think they're he's trying to change it up. He was previously on Amazon board member, so like I think.
Yeah, no. So they basically like what, like get these companies and then just gonna basically keep the brand and then just research the structure of the company. Kind of like a
really
Ty
big
Lopez,
industry.
and when he bought Pier 1 Imports, and he's just kind of like keeping the brand, but just holding it for later.
Restructuring,
Yeah, exactly.
So with all this like trading, I feel like it's giving you guys like a lot of freedom with your guys' life, and you know, and how do you guys stay disciplined to keep on wanting to get
well,
better?
we know this is what created that opportunity for us, you know. So,
but I feel like a lot of people just fall off. Like they get their big hit, and then like they're done.
And
You
then
know,
I
like
made it.
a lot of people also just like YOLO their accounts, you know, and just like put all their money into one play and just blow them out, you know. Like we try to be safe, you know. We will make some risky plays, you know, but for the majority, you know, we're pretty.
One of the things I like about the group is that you guys are always sending the information, the articles and stuff like that. And every time something's coming up, you're always able to be like, click, let me see what's going on. So that's super helpful for people that, don't even know where to get the information from.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I think what most people find value in is every night we go live.
That shit's fucking clutch. Yeah.
So every night from Sunday to Thursday at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we hop on a Zoom call. We have our screen pulled up, and honestly,
we'll
they
review the market, the S&P, the Nasdaq, whatever it did that day, Bitcoin, and then we go over our trades or what we're looking to do tomorrow, then to the following week. So it's just like to get ideas out there, and then people can bring their own ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, like we said in the beginning, it's a community where people can like.
It's a big mastermind group. Everybody just sharing like knowledge.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
And staying consistent like that is what people. It's gonna attract people, bring them in.
Definitely.
Yeah, imagine it's every Sunday to Thursday.
Yeah, that's
time.
huge. That's huge.
Yeah, it's
Heck
consistency.
Yeah. And I give it up to you guys because you guys are just very disciplined in doing that. I remember when I went over to you guys' house, you're like, "Nah, we got to do it during the weekend because we got this going on, that going on, and this going on." I'm like, "Yo, that like respect, bro." Like So that's
it's a lot of work that goes into like building a company. Like when we first started, bro, there was like sleep like for weeks. Like sleepless nights where I would get out of work, go to this fool's house, and then just grind. That's when we had to put the whole company together. We did the whole website. the whole LLC, all that. You know, we had to look into all the legal framework too, and you know, it was a lot of work that we put into it. But now it's paying off, you know. And I feel for me, the most rewarding part is that, like I said earlier, a lot of people, you know, lost their sources of income during the pandemic. You know, a lot of people lost their jobs, and they're getting the stimulus checks, they're getting their unemployment, but you know, they don't know really what to do with it, you know.
Yeah.
So the fact that I'm able to, you know, put people on, tell them, you know, how to make. A lot of people don't realize that you can make money off of your phone, you know, like
literally.
That's the craziest thing nowadays. Like you literally be at home, like just pressing buttons, making money.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what we do.
People are making the most money out of people at home. Like you don't have to leave your
Yeah,
house. And you can make the most
exactly.
Well, you're looking at them, bro.
Like, what?
Exactly, you know, and you know, it's motivation. It's good. It's a good feeling for me, you know, like making my money. But if I can make money with the people around me, you know, it's a lot
Ultimately
more,
the best thing ever.
Yeah, definitely.
But like outside of the whole stock market, like what do you guys like to do just in general? Like what's some personal stuff with you guys, you know, that you truly enjoy? You know, just to get a little personal with you.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, I like to travel. You know, I unfortunately haven't really been able to do that with the pandemic. You know, but we have had some little getaways. You know, we've gone to Vegas. We went to Miami not too long ago. You know, so, but once the countries open back up again, definitely gonna like tap more into the traveling. But other than that, honestly, just exercising, trying to stay healthy. You know, and
doing fun little activities, like we'll find ourselves going jet skiing or like just racing our cars, you know what I mean? Like, anything
So
that just
you gotta
keeps
enjoy your life
off.
too, you know.
Exactly.
You
Yeah,
can't
bro,
just
you're
be all
young,
work,
how to
you
have
know?
fun.
Exactly.
You
But
guys work that hard to have those days, you know.
facts. Yeah.
So talk about the drip, the cars, the style, the lifestyle. Like, you know, how does it feel for you guys to have the ability to be able to live this life at what age?
24.
Jesus
Damn,
Christ,
buddy,
you know
guys.
what I mean? How does it feel, bro, you know?
Well, I mean, we're halfway. We're 1% there. We're not even halfway.
Exactly.
Yeah,
1%.
We're barely getting started.
So like the job's not done. We want to see ourselves like a lot higher,
course.
drippier, more cars, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
But
look
it's
at you
not even about
guys.
that. It's not even about that. At the end of the day, we want to see like our people eat. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But at the same time, it goes like, you know, with anything, like the confidence, you know, like for me, it's like I look good, feel good, play good, you know. So it just
It's
comes. It's a
presentation,
whole,
you know?
you know, combination of, you know, stuff that makes you feel good. That's gonna make you perform out there.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I feel like if you want to like take advice from someone, you know, you're gonna want to see that person like well. You're gonna want to see that person like well presented, you know.
Yeah.
You know, solid, you know, confident person. So
First impressions really matter.
exactly. Yeah. And so, you know, that's kind of where it comes in. The cars, you know, it's company cars. Just kind of, you know, I feel like people see like, oh, you're doing that, you know, you got something to, you know, show that. You
That's
know.
like branding too, like
Exactly.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
It goes with
you
the
show these
lifestyle, bro.
people,
Yeah.
Like, yo, like you guys could have this if you guys,
Exactly.
you know.
And that's the biggest thing, you know, that, you know, being young doesn't mean that you have to wait till you're 40 to become rich, you know?
Exactly.
It's like,
No,
it's
that's
just,
now.
That's the thing. Like, I don't want to be rich when I'm older. You know, like I want to be rich and enjoy it while I'm
A
still
lot of
young.
people get trapped into like 401ks or IRAs. And that's a trap. It's essentially putting your money away for 30 years, 40 years.
so you
plus.
could see it when I'm 60?
Yeah.
What the fuck am I going to do when I'm 60? Go to Miami? I can't go to Miami no
I can't
more.
pop bottles when I'm 60,
I
bro.
want
Yeah.
1.7 mil when I'm 30.
Yeah.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. As you should.
Yeah, so like,
Have all your like little nephews and people under you rich.
Yeah,
and
bro.
rich.
The whole generational
exactly,
wealth, bro.
exactly.
You know, you break down that
And-
door and let everybody come
And that's
through.
the thing, bro. It's like I come from a family, you know, where like I saw both things. You know, like when I was a kid, you know, my family was wealthy, but you know, then the 2008 financial crisis hit, you know, and everything went down. We had gas stations out here in San Diego, and all of them closed down. And so, you know, what I realized is like you can create wealth, you know, but then if you don't teach your kids, your following how to continue to make that wealth, you know, they're just gonna know how to spend the money.
Yeah,
you know,
and that's a crazy thing. You got to pass down those skills because if not, the
Exactly.
money
You-
will dry up real
Exactly.
quick.
You
can
can't just pass the money. You know, like you have to teach them, you know, how you made that money and how to continue to do it for themselves.
or give them the money and tell them I want this money back, you know, with interest.
exactly.
There it is. You know, put an incentive in there.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, what would you guys say some of the goals that you guys are looking to accomplish within these next couple of years, or you know, as time progresses?
Real estate one.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Definitely.
We're definitely gonna
Yeah,
talk
we
about
gonna
that.
be here. We gonna be hitting you up. Yeah,
Nah, yeah, definitely. I mean, what about you, bro?
Same, you know, so, you know, just trying to grow the company, look into other businesses as well, you know,
The hedge fund too.
hedge fund. That's the next main thing for All In Trading Group. And, you know, just being able to put my people on, you know, trying to buy my mom a house, and buy my dad a house.
It's important to have goals like monthly, yearly, daily. You know what I mean? So you set those goals and you get it the right foot.
Yep.
Nice.
And they have to be realistic goals, you know, like, because
Yeah.
you can't like overdo yourself. You can't, because then if you don't hit, you know, like you're
gonna get discomfort. Like,
exactly. So set realistic goals for yourself and just follow them. And that's.
I've always been a hustler my whole life. Like my first job, I mean, I was a referee. I've been putting overtime, like whatever games I could ref, like I was there. Second job, I got some cleaning materials. I started a detailing company. I was cleaning cars, like Ferraris and stuff, Corvettes.
Yeah.
Nice.
I did that for like 2 years, and then
just had that hustler mentality your whole life.
You make $1 anywhere, bro. You got to put your hard work and sweat into it.
I even picked up a camera and started shooting music videos. So
shit, I should have just said no.
But with stocks, like, what do you think's like the main hitter? Like, would you like? I've been hearing you talk about puts. Is that like your main?
No, so we actually mainly right now, just because there's so much money that's been pumped into the market, you know. So as you know, the way I like to say it is like you're giving people money, you're giving companies money. You give people $1,400, right?
Yeah.
And that person will either grab those $1,400 and invest it, or they'll go out and buy a PlayStation 5. But at the end of the day, that money is going back into the stock market because Sony has a stock, you know?
Yeah.
So
you're just making it richer.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just like the more money the government is printing out, the more inflation we're seeing, you know, and prices go up for everything.
Especially with that $1.9 trillion that just got pumped in. Like,
so
one of the things I was seeing is that we're not even going to get the effects of it, bro. You know, the generations after are the ones that are going to be dealing with it. And they're still going to pump a couple more trillions after when the infrastructure and climate like bill comes down too. So
I think debt's always going to be there, though.
Yeah, definitely. Of course.
The country's debt's always going to increase over time.
Doesn't
mean anything. Like,
OPM.
Definitely.
That's for like the idea, the theory that like Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is going to come into play like later down the line. You know, like it's popping right now. I mean, we could see a bear market in like a couple of years, but in 10 years we could see like a total shift in the total economy, like in terms of crypto. You know.
So speaking about crypto, Bitcoin's pumping right now. So where do you guys expect that to go?
Well, like we've seen Tesla, Elon Musk buy into it 1.5. He's like one now.
1.9, right?
1.5.
Oh.
Now he's like one of the leading like holders of Bitcoin, and I think a lot more companies are going to want to follow that too, because we're still early. Like you said, 1.9 trillion was just pumped, right?
Yeah.
And the whole Bitcoin market is 1 trillion. So
it just goes to show.
Yeah, like they just put more money in the market than the whole, Bitcoin.
The way it's structured too.
And one more thing, like gold. Like the gold is like 600 trillion or like some crazy amount of money. Like if we were to take over gold market cap, then
oh, so game over.
Gold never loses.
And they're comparing it to gold now. They're saying Bitcoin is a more secure asset.
Well, Robert Kiyosaki's always saying buy silver, buy gold, and buy Bitcoin. So it's like
exactly.
And then when you see Bitcoin go down, that's my indication to buy gold.
Oh, okay.
When you see a sharp backline in Bitcoin, like just remember that, like,
ladies, gentlemen, write this down.
Because they're gonna be like,
notes.
"Whoa, look, like, one of our commodities is going down. We need to buy gold."
Right.
So, but then the whole thing with the more money we're printing out, commodities are just going up because they go up in value since there's more money. The dollar is devaluing, commodities are gaining value. So Bitcoin is a commodity, gold, silver, all that.
So it's virtual commodity now.
Yeah.
But do you guys like trade, like getting stocks, or do you guys like trading like options?
So we do stocks for long term, and then the ones that we have long term, we like to leverage them through selling options. But then short term, more like the weekly, monthly.
More of a gamble.
It's more options. I mean, it's a gamble if you don't know what you're doing. Like if you if you're like, I'm gonna buy this for no reason, that's a gamble.
Yeah, okay. You have your backup
but the thing is, like, a lot of people compare trading stocks to gambling, and it's like with gambling, you can't do your research. You can't go off of news.
Luck. Yeah.
Exactly. With gambling, you have a fixed chance of winning. With trading stocks, you can do your research, you can go off of news, technicals, you can read the charts, read the patterns, and honestly, a lot of that comes into play. We are pretty technical when it comes to trading. We use the VWAP, the RSI, implied volatility, all that. Those are different studies that are within the trading platforms that we use. And at first, you know, you look at it and you're like, oh, what am I looking at? You know, it looks like a different language. But the deeper you get into it, it's pretty legit, and it kind of bounces off each other.
I know you explained it earlier, but like,
Yeah.
can you break down like the options clearly, just like
Because we get a lot of questions, you know,
Yeah.
like, you know, like what is an option, you know,
Yeah.
how
I
do
feel
we
like
do
that's
this,
like the
you
main
know?
question.
So-
like,
I can start it off.
yeah.
Yeah, please.
So
He's like, let me in, bro. Puts his hat back, and if you had one like Ash Ketchum, I'm about to go in.
Yeah.
So
Tell me,
basically,
coach.
it's a contract, right? It's a contract to buy or sell 100 shares of a certain company. So say Apple's trading at $100, and you have a $100 strike contract, and if Apple goes to 105, you still have a contract. Say I could still buy Apple at 100, even if it's at 105 or 110. So you just profit 100 shares
Of what it went on, Rose.
you know, the difference of the strike and the current market price. So you can leverage your money like that. So if say you buy 3 or 4 of those contracts, they're not going to cost you the price of 100 shares. They're going to cost you the price of one contract.
Right.
It's usually going to be like 5% of
What it's
whatever
really
it is.
worth.
Yeah. So you leverage your money, and then you know, I think a lot of hedge funds use it. They like the other way around. They'll sell it so that way they can hedge their market positions.
Yeah.
But like people have found that it's pretty like risky, or it's like more like you can use it to your advantage. You can leverage. You can grow your account quicker.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I mean, but at a higher risk as well.
higher risk. Yeah.
Oh, shit, you gotta have some
But
balls.
the thing too is like if you buy a contract and you know say it doesn't, it say it goes down, you know you're just losing what you
Yeah.
bought the contract for. No, and so say you buy the contract instead of buying 100 shares. If you buy 100 shares and it drops, you're losing way more than if you just lose what the contract was worth. You
Yeah.
know? So it's a safer way to assure yourself that you want to buy that stock. You know.
Yeah.
And the thing too about options is like you don't have to actually execute it, meaning like you don't have to actually buy those 100 shares. You know, you can
Yeah.
buy and sell the contracts because those contracts have value to themselves. You know, like if you say the Apple example, say it's at $100 and you bought it when it was at $90, but the strike price is 110
Yeah.
a month from now. You know, so you know it goes up, and just because it went up $10, you know, it's more probable to go up to 110. So you can just sell it for that profit that you made. You know.
Yeah.
So you can buy and sell it the same day. It's considered a day trade. But you know, you could buy it, sell it the next day, sell it a week from now, you know, whatever it is.
Nice. So the following questions were actually questions that were asked by our audience, you know, and they were coming in as we told them that we're gonna, you know, podcast with you guys. And you know, just to start it off, you know, one of them was, what's a major index fund?
A major index fund is basically it's what people use, like traders use to like estimate the market, like the market trends.
Right.
It's a collection of like stocks into one.
So would it be like the S&P 500,
S&P
the
500,
NASDAQ, and then
NASDAQ.
the Dow Jones?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, so it's just a collection of stocks together that like that evaluates the current market conditions. So you can look at it to see where where the market's trending up.
So,
or down.
okay. So like when we were saying like it's red because of the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones, it's
Yeah.
gonna affect the companies that are connected directly to them, right?
So yeah, the stocks move independently,
Mhm.
but then the stocks move the indices.
Yeah.
Okay.
Indices. So it's not the other way around. A lot of people would like
Oh,
think, like,
okay.
indices goes down, so stocks go down. No, they went down because stocks went down.
Down,
Indices
yeah.
went down because stocks went down.
So it's
But-
the movement's generated by the stocks.
Yeah, but then another way too, you can compare it. It's like if you think it's just an individual stock, you can check these indexes, and if the whole index is coming down, that means the whole kind of group is coming down, not just that stock, you know.
Right.
But there could be like news related to that stock that's causing it just that particular one to come down. So it's a good way to check in to see if it's the overall market coming down or if it's just
That.
that particular stock.
About 38 minutes in.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, brother. What is an ETF?
Sort of the same thing,
Okay.
except more of like a private, like more like a company can create a exchange traded fund. That's what it
Okay,
stands for.
exchange traded fund.
It's a collection of stocks, usually in a different industry or specific industry or specific market size. So or like whatever they're trying to capture within that ETF. So like Kathy Woods is very famous for her ETFs. She's focused on like the RKKs with the like EVs, autonomous vehicles. She has one for space.
Oh, wow.
She has one for
Damn.
Bionomics.
like genome space. So it all depends like, what you want to do. Like if you're an ETF like holder, look for one with the low expense ratios. Because essentially what ATF does, it takes a little percentage of, you know, the market portfolio, the portfolio,
right.
and they pocket it for themselves. Is how they stay profitable. Or,
Okay.
but if you choose one with the low expense ratio, then you're keeping a lot more of your money.
It's basically like a charge for owning it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like a
okay,
small
okay.
charge. Yeah.
So how, you know, and this is a vague question, how do you profit in the stock market?
Buy low, sell high. I mean, and you know, just following trends. You know, there's different types of trading. You know, you can be a day trader, you could be a swing trader, you could be a dividend investor, which is, you know, you buy stocks that offer dividends and just collect the dividends.
Okay.
Dividends are like every quarter, or you know, there'll be semi-annual or annual. Part of the company's profits are, you know, paid out to the shareholders. So it's an incentive to create long-term investors in that company.
Nice, and that actually answered the following question, which was, so what does a low-cost index fund mean?
A low cost index fund.
I don't know, bro. These people are quiet.
Yeah.
These people are questions, bro. I don't know.
Low cost index fund. I mean, it sounds like what it is.
Low-cost index fund. There it is. Whoever asked that, there it is.
There's a lot of indexes you can. It's not just the S&P 500. There's a lot of lower costing ones that you can essentially, like the Russell 2000 is also have a Russell 1000, 3000. So it's just different collection of stocks that they pull together. So I mean, I guess that's what he's trying to ask. Like,
Yeah.
What are the low cost indexes? Whatever.
Yeah,
it's
Instagram was going crazy.
Yeah. You know, there's also, it's not just the S&P. There's also like over-the-counter stocks, which are like, you know, tend to be like the penny stocks, the smaller companies. They tend to be a little bit riskier because they don't follow like all SEC regulations. But you know, overall, you know, you can make some money off of those as well.
So what's a capital gain?
Capital gain is essentially your profit.
Yeah. And then so you get taxed off of that once you know, sell and pull out. That's considered capital gain. In the stock market, if you're a, you know, short-term trader, meaning you buy and sell within a year, you have a higher capital gains tax. But if you hold it over a year, I believe that capital gains tax drops to about 15%.
Right.
But then again, at the end of the day, your short-term investments are considered income. So it's based off of your income bracket. Based off of how much you make a year, you know, you'll get taxed anywhere from like 10 to 30%.
Shit, Uncle Sam always has to get his cut, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So moving on to the next question. What is a short squeeze?
A short squeeze is
what we saw with GameStop.
It's a combination of different factors. Essentially, what it is when a stock goes really high and really fast.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So imagine like with the GameStop, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I thought.
Was a lot of hedge funds were shorting it. That's what the name comes from, short squeeze, right? So when they're short and it goes against them, they're gonna be like, oh man, like, we gotta get out. We gotta rebuy our shares because we owe them our shares, right? So they rebuy the shares. Plus, there's people trying to buy in on the way up too because they see it going up.
Yeah.
And plus the hedge funds buying into it to repay their shares.
Right.
It just causes a double
like parabolic move.
Yeah. So it's a squeeze up, you know, because there's
everybody's
double,
shorting it.
everyone's buying. Yeah.
So we're getting to this part of the podcast, which is my favorite part. It's a series of questions that, you know, are going to come at you like a lightning, and hopefully you guys can answer them, all right? It's nothing crazy. Maybe, I don't know.
Let's get it.
Is he answering and I answer? Or I,
so
what?
he answers, you answer, or you answer, however you guys want to do it. Cool?
Yeah.
All right, so first question. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Tell the future.
Hey, why? So you can invest in stocks.
I like that.
Time travel.
Time travel. Yeah.
Go back and make the right trade.
I'll go back and load up on Bitcoin when it was at $1.
Yeah, I know, right?
Tell me about it.
So question number 2. What is the ugliest number between 1 and 100?
Negative.
No,
as long as it's negative, you know, as if it's one, that's
said Uncle Fuck.
no, 1 to 100.
The
ugliest
number?
Yeah, the ugly number.
I don't like physical look.
Yeah,
physical look.
Just an ugly number,
I'd say
like you know, someone's football number or some shit.
8.
8.
It's an 8.
8. It's ugly.
It's ugly.
Because I don't like it too. Hold on, fuck that shit.
Yeah. I'd say like 11. It's just like 2 sticks, you know. Hey, but as long as it's not negative, you know, I like it. You know, profit is profit.
Like
fuck it, there is no ugly numbers.
Yeah, exactly, bro. All numbers are good numbers as long as they're green, you know.
Yeah.
Oh wow, this one's out there. Number 3. Would you lick toes or eat ass?
Oh.
Who comes up with these?
Was that
Research
you,
and
Brian?
development. Research and
That boy back
development,
here,
bro.
he's the one that
Research
came
and
up with
development.
Oh shit.
Hey, you want to answer that?
I guess it depends, bro. Yeah.
Hey, bro, no judge. We don't judge here, bro. It's an energy podcast.
I mean, I guess it all depends, you know.
Like, what's the vibe, bro?
You gotta be clean, bro. I swear to God, bro.
So you would eat ass.
You got me.
All right. Is water wet?
Definitely.
Who makes these?
Water wet. Water in itself is not wet,
What?
but
What?
When you get splashed
When-
with water, do you get dry? Do you get
no,
wet?
you get wet, but the actual water is not wet. It's causing
When water
wetness.
hits you, do you get dry? No. He's like, fool.
Shit.
It's
I
wet.
need to be high for this question.
Yeah, right. Question number 5. First thing you notice when you see a girl.
Eyes probably.
Her hair.
Hair.
Very
Wow,
nice.
gentlemen, huh? Wholesome.
Keep it.
Question number 6. Who would win in a race? Antonio or
Me,
Diego?
Nah, me,
I
bro.
would-
This
wait.
guy's a horrible driver. Oh, in a race, in a running race, or in a car race?
Shoot, in a car race.
I'm
Come
the
on,
best- I'm the
guys.
best driver.
you're not, bro.
Yeah, I'm the best driver.
This was a maniac when it comes to driving.
Wow, then.
But
So
Oh, no, I'll put the burners on him.
I'll
though.
smoke him. Nah.
I've raced him before, and I think I was.
Nah.
Let's go to K1 Speed. It's right next door.
What's up?
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm undefeated on that shit.
Let's end it right now.
I am.
Hey, let's get
Shit.
it out
Check my charts.
All right, so question number 7. If you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Tacos.
Yeah,
Never go wrong. That's fucking
What
straight
type
up.
of tacos?
pretty straight up.
Mexican tacos.
I never had any other type of tacos.
Yeah, you got you right there. Some al pastor probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice,
Smacking.
nice. So question number 8. Clubs or kickbacks?
I like the clubs. honestly.
Yeah, clubs are
Hype.
I
cool.
like getting lit. I like popping bottles.
I like getting bottle service.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I miss
But-
that, to be honest.
You
You're
know,
like,
in his fields right now.
Why'd you gotta hit that question,
All right, question number 9. Ass or titties?
bro? Ass.
Quick with it.
Ass, bro. I'm an ass guy.
I'm an
Yeah,
ass,
for
man.
sure, for sure. Yeah,
Question number 10. Off-white or Supreme?
Off-white.
yeah, I'll fight.
right away.
I'll fight.
Got to.
All right,
Supreme is
supply.
overbought.
Own your own business or house?
Business.
Business.
Yeah.
Because then you could get the house.
You can get the house, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, people slip on that.
Yeah, I know. They're quick to buy
You know,
freaking.
they just want to buy their houses. They finally make some money and they
And
buy
they're
it,
like,
you
what?
know,
But
it's
your
like-
business could be owning houses.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, there
Hey,
you go.
shout out Brian.
All right, question number 12. The heat or the cold?
Heat, yeah. I'd rather be hot than cold.
I'd rather be cold because
hate
you
the
could get
cold.
hot, and if you're hot, you can't get cold.
You can just get in the
You
water.
get in the
Yeah,
And
you
then
know
you'd be
water.
wet. All right, so this is the last
Cold,
question here,
fuck,
right?
cold.
And this last question, I want you guys to dig deep in your energy and really, really just let us know why it is that this is why it is, right? And I'm going to say the question, and you guys are going to fill in the blanks while repeating the question, right?
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and start with you, Dago.
All right, let's get it.
All right. My name is blank, and I get my energy from...
My name is Diego, and I get my energy from, just knowing that no one else is going to do it for you. You just got to go out there and do it yourself. You just got to grind it out for yourself because ain't nobody going to give it to you. And nothing is given, everything is worked for.
And you got to take it.
Yep.
Antonio?
What was it? My name.
My name is blank, and I get my energy from...
My name is Antonio. I get my energy from my family. I want to see them do well. I want to see them happy. So I do all what I do because of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was episode 45 of the Energy Podcast with All In Trading Group. Guys, before we log off, let them know where they could find you guys. Let them know where they could subscribe to All In Trading Group so that if they're, interested in joining the game, joining the team, they could go ahead and reach you. And we'll make sure we put all the description, all the notes and links in the notes, guys.
Yeah, so we got our website, allintradinggroup.com. Also, tap into the Instagram. It's All In Trading Group, just as it is. And then, we have a special promo code. If you guys want to join it in, it's All In Friends. You get $50 off of the stocks and options course. And you know,
we might give an energy promo code.
Yeah, let's do an energy promo code.
No, yeah, definitely, guys. Hey, if you guys are watching this right now, and if you hear this episode, make sure you use code ENERGY to get into All In Trading Group, guys. We're here to help you guys build wealth. We're here to get you guys out of that rat race, guys. Come on now, what are we doing?
Invest
Let's get out there, team me. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 45 of the Energy Podcast. Thank you so much, Bush, for coming on, guys. This episode will be live. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you take the notes. Tell your friends. Tell your mom. Shit, tell everybody. Let's fucking go. Good shit, guys.
Hell yeah.
Hella.